everybody, it's me, Zach, this is Judy, and welcome back to our channel. Hey everybody, how are you doing? I hope you're doing well today. I'm doing much better than I was in my last video where I was struggling with my allergies. I'm doing great now. I'm feeling so much better. I think now that we're just in full gloomy weather mode here in Chicago, you might even be able to hear the raininess outside. We're in full gloomy fall mode, so I think my allergies are under control now. Now that we're committed to a season, we're doing great. But today what I wanted to talk to you all about was a little bit about the state of both Amberlynn and Chantal's channels. I've seen a lot of conversation, whether it be on Twitter, in my Twitch streams, and other people's reaction videos about how Amberlynn or Chantal or both are like killing their channels, like effectively like ruining their channels with like how they're handling their content, with how they're talking to their audiences and things like that. And so I thought, let's do a little bit of a deep dive into kind of like what my thoughts are and if I think that they really are destroying their channels in some kind of way. To be quite honest, they've both spent a lot of time in general on their channels at different points, but also very recently in their channels, telling people not to watch their channels if they don't like it. If you that like old saying of like, if you don't support me, don't watch me, which to some extent I vibe with, okay? Like, I definitely think that like if I'm not for you, I would never sit here and ask you to continue to watch my videos, like truly, surely. But also, if you want to watch my videos just to hate on me, please do. You know, I'll take the engagement. I'll take whatever you want to give me. So I think to some extent, like, they're a little bit biting the hand that feeds them, especially since they both at different points in their YouTube careers have like benefited from people watching them strictly because they don't like them. But I also get the idea of like setting boundaries, and if like dealing with hate comments every day and things like that are negatively impacting them in any kind of way, then like more power to you if you want to block those people. But also all of that has consequences, right? Like that's potential engagement that you are potentially limiting your channel from having, growing, whoever, whatever. So before we really get started, I do just want to say that this video is not intended to be like a recommendation from me to stop watching their channels, to continue watching their channels. I think my real goal here is just to provide some like commentary and things to consider as you consider how you invest your time. Because really, I think something that's important to consider is that one of the only ways that we pay these YouTubers, unless you're like paying for super chats or memberships or things like that, one of the only ways that we pay these creators, or you even pay me, is through your time and you taking the time to watch the videos on YouTube. Like, you don't have to pay anything to participate in YouTube, but you giving your time to creators like me, creators like Chantal, Amberlynn, whoever, whatever, that is your currency and your time is valuable. For me personally, I value my time so much. Like, it's so important to me. I hate when people waste my time. For me, that's really important. And I think it's important for you to consider how you want to invest that, what you want to do with your time. And so those are things I want you to consider. This is not me saying don't watch these people. This is not me saying go watch these people. This is me saying let's all together take a second to think about like, is this the best use of our time? And you might find that it is. And also just like know that it's okay to take a break, especially because as we're going to talk about, a lot of the stuff happening, particularly in Chantal's life, is heavy. It's very serious. It can be triggering for some people who've had experiences with those topics and might not be the best use of our time. So you can take a break if you need to. So I figure let's get started with the less serious of the situations, which is Amberlynn and her boring live streams. It's no secret in this community that Amberlynn's live streams have been so dry. They're so dry. Like dry, like, have y'all seen the new Dune movie? It's like that level, like the desert level of dry. The movie is not dry. The movie's good. I liked it. I enjoyed it. But the desert in Dune, that's dry. That's dry. It's also something that she's generally acknowledged from the whole entire beginning of her doing these live streams and this paid membership sort of situation. She's always said, like, this is as good as it's gonna get. You're gonna get me sitting on this couch for an hour to 2 hours at a time, answering the same old, tired, boring questions that I have answered 100 times at this point, and you're gonna like it, or if you don't like it, you can leave. Now, the beginning of the live stream era of Amberlynn's channel benefited from, one, Becky, because at the beginning, she was exclusively doing all of her live streams with Becky. But then two, the breakup with Becky, because that was the only place where we are getting new information about the breakup. And then three, for a while they were benefiting from Wifey, and Wifey being present either via FaceTime or Wifey actually being in the apartment. But now all of those elements are gone. I mean, for all intents and purposes, Becky no longer lives with her. The breakup is we've moved past that at this point. She's talked about in live streams how she won't even talk about Becky on her channel really anymore, and that's gone. The Wifey thing, regardless of whether y'all on the internet or we on the internet or me on the internet want to speculate about whether or not Wifey is still in the apartment with Amberlynn, Amberlynn is doing her best to just not acknowledge it. If she's there, Amberlynn is doing everything she can to not acknowledge that Wifey might be around, might be there, might be with her, whoever, whatever. So she doesn't really have a lot to work on in terms of this, and she's still, even as of recently, telling people, like, this is my boring life, like, this is what you're gonna get, this is what... I've always 100% told you that live streams are just gonna be me sitting here talking. And it's come up recently. She did, it was, I think on October 18th, she did a live stream that she called Priority Mail. All of her live streams, by the way, they're just like dumb names. And like, she even tried to recently do a live stream that was called I Heard She's Good with Them Soft Lips or something like that. It's a line from a rap that Drake did, I think on a Rihanna song. I think, or maybe it was a Drake song that Rihanna was featured on. I don't really remember, but I know that whole rap. That's neither here nor there. It's just like, for some reason I can't remember the lyrics to most songs, but that one just sticks in my head because he says the square root of 69 is 8 something, right? Because I've been trying to work it out. And I think because it involves math, and I famously was once upon a time a math major, it just sticks with me. But in that live stream, she does address the lower amount of views that she's been getting.
No hate, how do you feel that views are down? I actually don't really have like a feeling towards that. You would think I would, but I truly don't. I can understand because my videos are nowhere near as entertaining since I can't really talk about certain things. And also a big part of it, like I noticed that like the happier I am and like the less train wreck I am, the lower my views go. So it's almost kind of like a compliment in a way. I know like when I'm super train wreck or I'm like eating a ton on camera or like gaining weight or just looking crazy, looking a hot mess, I get more views that way. So it's like, it's kind of like a weird compliment in a way. So I don't know.
I think it's interesting that she feels like she can't talk about certain things. I know that she has talked about that being something that she does particularly to protect herself and or people around her. Like, it's her way of like not having to deal with like whatever the internet's opinion is about that thing. And I guess I respect that. I respect that that's the stance she's taking about. I certainly feel like I have recommended that to her in the past and said, like, if you don't want people's opinions about things, like, don't post it to the internet where you're a public figure. And I certainly relate to that too, right? Like, y'all don't know every single thing there is to know about my life because I'm not sharing it on the YouTube because, well, that's none of your business. But certainly I think the more interesting thing that she had to talk about here was that she's allegedly not getting views because she's not a train wreck now, and it's because her life is just like not as train wrecky and people don't want to watch her unless she's being a train wreck. And I don't know, I don't really vibe with that because I think it's like more about you just being boring, right? Like, she says it's like a weird compliment because people aren't watching her because she's not a train wreck anymore. And I think it's more so just because you're boring. And in fact, somebody later says that in the chat.
It's not because you're not a train wreck. It's because you're boring. You put almost no effort into your job anymore. I completely disagree. When it comes to my vlogs, I don't think I've ever put this much effort in my vlogs before, and I'm very, very proud of them, to be honest. I feel like when I put the least effort is when I get the most views. Like the mukbangs. If I was to film a mukbang, that would get me over 100K views. It's just how it goes. And everyone says they don't want to see a mukbang, but they click on it extremely quickly. So it's just like very ironic how that works. But a lot of people are enjoying my vlogs. So I'm going to stick with that. I love it. Vlogmas is around the corner. I'm excited for it, but also like nervous for it. And I'm like, oh my God, filming every single day. So I feel like this is kind of like working my way towards that because I stopped vlogging for so long. So yeah.
And I think it's interesting also to say that the vlogs that you're doing now are a lot of effort. Like, I think that's an interesting choice of words, especially because, I mean, I guess compared to, like, I don't know, sitting down and eating a whole rotisserie chicken as a mukbang, sure, that probably, vlogging probably does take more effort, but like, when you look at the quality of the vlogs, like, yes, you're vlogging. You tick that check mark. You got that box marked off. Okay, I feel that. But like, what are you really doing in these vlogs? Not a lot. Showing us your refrigerator? I mean, wow, riveting content. I just think it's like a little bit of a problem that Amberlynn doesn't see any kind of like conceivable way that she could be both like successfully moving on from a breakup, losing weight, whoever, whatever, not being a train wreck and be successful. Like, she doesn't see any conceivable way that she can be successful on YouTube without being a train wreck. When the reality is that we all know there are tons of YouTubers out there who are not train wrecks and are very much successful YouTubers, have a great following. I'm not one to compare Amberlynn to other YouTubers because I do think that it's legit that Amberlynn has different life experiences, different capabilities, different everything than most YouTubers, but it's hard not to do when Amberlynn so often is wanting to compare herself to other YouTubers when it's convenient to her, right? So it's always convenient to her when she can say like, oh, well, these bigger YouTubers do so much worse than me and don't get nearly as much flack as I do, right? It's always convenient in those situations. But in this situation, I can't help but think about a YouTuber that I've actually found, I think in like probably the past year. Her name's B. Caruso. And she is, I think, what you all would call like a weight loss channel, weight loss vlogging channel. Although not all of her videos actually are about weight loss, although a lot of them are, most of them are, but sometimes she throws in some non-weight loss related content. I think that she's such a good example of somebody who has committed to doing the work but making mistakes, and she's been consistent. Okay, she's been consistent the whole way through the entire time I've watched her channel, and I've actually watched her channel from essentially when she first like went viral and started growing a following. So she's always been consistent in terms of being like authentic and genuine with the audience. She shows her struggles, she shows her successes, and I think that that's something people really relate to. And she also got really big because she was trying new things. Like, the whole theme of her channel from the beginning has always been trying new things. Like, she went viral because she tried out a Chloe Ting, like, ab workout, something or another. I'm not super familiar with Chloe Ting, but I know a lot of people are. And she went viral doing that. She tried some challenges based on, like, the fitness Marshall once upon a time. And the whole kind of theme, without her saying that this is the theme of her channel, has always been her trying new things and her sharing that experience with people. She's even tried different recipes just as a new video. She will try like different products she's never tried before. It's all of that, but then tied into like her sharing authentic things about herself and her challenges and everything. And she's certainly had ups and downs. She's not always done great at losing weight on her channel, and I don't think people hold that against her because she's just always been upfront, honest, and she's funny, and she's enjoyable, and she seems like the kind of person you would want to hang out with, be friends with. And that's not to say that Amberlynn has to do any or all of those things, okay? Because like I said, I think Amberlynn is very different. It's just to say that Amberlynn could try new things. Amberlynn could try to do different things. Amberlynn could show us her trying to follow an actual recipe that she found online that she enjoys. Amberlynn could share like a whole journey with us, but at this point, her vlogs are, her week-long vlogs are whittled down to at most 10 minutes. 10 minutes. I don't know what the Brit song, 525,600 minutes. That's how many minutes are in a year. But I'm sure if you divide that by 52 and you'll figure out how many are in a week. And then you'll know that it's a lot more than 10. Listen, I'm not over here doing the math, but it'll add up. I promise that shit will add up. I just think she really limits herself by saying that, like, she doesn't have the capacity to do more than what she can, because the viewers just think that her life is boring and that she just has this boring life. No, there are things you could do even from the confines of your apartment that could be interesting to people to watch, but you're just stuck in this idea that, like, you can only do one thing on YouTube. She's so committed to this idea that she can't do more than what she's currently doing. And I can give her credit for sticking to a schedule, sure. The live stream schedule, this new like video posting schedule, she sure has been sticking to it, but like sticking to it is the bare minimum. Showing up for the work you agreed to do is the bare minimum, right? Like the bare minimum. And I think people are like happy she met the bare minimum, but now people want more. People are gonna ask for more, or they're gonna stop tuning in. And all of this to say is that her views are significantly less than they were, especially on live streams. Like the live streams when she started all of this journey were getting at least 100,000 views per live stream, and now that soft lip one, it was at like 30,000 something views today, and she streamed that a couple days ago at this point. So she's struggling. And then on top of that, if you go into the live streams and you click on participants, it's only ever like 15 to 20 people at a time in those particular live streams. So it's clear that she's struggling to maintain like interest in those things. I'm kind of wondering if she doesn't just give it up soon. I think honestly it would probably be a good move for her to just peace out of those live streams, because like I don't know what anybody's really getting out of them anymore. Like across the board, I feel like most people just think it's boring. Moving on to Chantal, I don't really plan to go into details of especially the drama that's happened in this past week of time, because I think that there's a lot of people who are covering that. I think some people are covering it well, some people could maybe cover it better, but certainly if you're looking for information about the latest drama that's happened with her boo, Nader, then I would definitely suggest that you look for that particular tea elsewhere, although some of this is like mildly related to that, okay? I don't feel the need to go into like the specific details of the whole situation, but I am quite interested in talking about her response to people's response to her response to that situation. A lot of responses, okay? A lot of responses. But there are plenty of creators who are covering it, so I would say pick your favorite Chantal reaction channel, and I'm sure somebody has covered it in a way that like meshes with how you like to talk about those particular things. It is true that every week I feel like Chantal finds herself in hotter and hotter water when it comes to Nader and the myriad of things that he's done, and it's clear that she's willing to risk everything for a guy who's willing to pose in a bathtub full of pee-pee water. Although that's truly probably not the worst, I mean, it isn't the worst thing that he's ever done, especially considering like how he's treated Chantal, from Chantal's own words, to giving her an STI, to the drug use, to the most recent allegations of SA, right? Like all of those things considered, like the pee-pee water is not the worst thing, but I mean, come on, look at that picture and tell me that like that's somebody you would be proud to be in a relationship with. So her response to people this week being concerned over her relationship with Nader, which honestly, at this point, it happens once a week that people are concerned and then go running back to her. But her response this week has been pretty much on par with the consistent ranting and live streams telling people, like, if you don't like it, I'm gonna block you. If you don't like it, you don't have to watch me, support me. In particular, her favorite thing to say to reaction channels is, if you don't like me, don't watch me, but then you won't make money off of me, and blah, 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 blah. Like, the whole cycle. Okay, it's the same thing every time. But she's posted some community tabs while she was away in Toronto with her boo. And I do know that she also did a live stream last night. It was deleted before I ever woke up. I haven't watched that at this time, although I know some people have copies of it and are watching it. Again, maybe that's something to find your favorite reactor, go watch it on their channel. But I want to talk about these community posts because we need to talk about her request for us to stop watching her and maybe consider taking it seriously. So the first one, she said, when I return to doing live streams, just a forewarning that I will not be talking about Nader, and I will be blocking and deleting negativity and drama, etc. You know the drill, so don't waste your time. It is insane the amount of messages I'm getting from weirdos giving me hate because they think I am in Toronto with Nader, as if it affects their lives. So while the point of me sharing this is not to discuss whether or not she was or was not telling the truth about being in Toronto with Nader, she clearly, I mean, I showed you the PP bathtub picture, she clearly was in Toronto with Nader, so there's that. But, I mean, the point is that she's like, listen, if you got something negative to say, I'm just gonna block you, and you can't participate on my channel anymore. She also followed it up, like a day later, I think, with this message which says, hey guys, so I'm going on a cool haunted drive through tonight outside of Toronto and then heading home sooner than expected. So I will probably go live sooner than expected. But just as a reminder, if you don't want to support me for whatever reason, then please don't be in chat. Otherwise, I'll be removing the negativity and will not be talking about drama, etc. XO. Now, obviously, like I said, Chantal can block whoever she wants. If she needs to block things for her own mental health, that's one thing. But it's clear in this situation that she's just blocking out people who want to have a serious conversation with her about the negative person that she brought into her life, Pete's life, her cat's life, and as such, our lives here on YouTube. And, well, I won't say ours because I haven't really been following every moment, but the people, her actual loyal VIBs or whoever, whatever, she's bringing this negativity and toxicity into their lives, and now they're not allowed to have an opinion about it, ask questions about it. She doesn't want to hear it from them. It really says less to me about, like, I don't want to engage with negativity, and more like, I don't want to have to be accountable for the things that my partner has done. And as such, I don't want to be accountable for, like, putting that stuff on this platform, for bringing this guy into your life, or to take any accountability for the part I have played in this situation. Now, I think the question is this really hurting her channel? I think that depends on what your definition of that is. I think financially, she's been happy to share how much she made. Well, she was happy to share that with somebody who ended up leaking it when she was no longer serving them, okay? But it's clear that she's told some people what she's been making, and I would say for the past few months, her views on live streams have been pretty consistent, somewhere between 15,000 to 20,000 views. And I know some people have said, well, that's a live stream, so she gets a view every time somebody clicks on the live stream and engages. But every time somebody clicks on the live stream and engages, like, they typically will get an ad unless it's, like, demonetized for some reason or age restricted, right? So even if a person's only clicking on and watching 30 seconds and then clicking off, they probably had to watch an ad to watch that 30 seconds. So she is still getting the AdSense revenue, even if her watch time is low. You know what I'm saying? So it's hard to say if financially she's struggling, because clearly she's been able to support herself, support Nader, support Pete, support her cats. Well, support her cats is maybe questionable, but she's been able to support herself and two other humans. I would say financially she might be doing okay for now, for the time being. I don't know her finances like that. I don't see her checkbook, her accounting book, her bank statements. So I can't really say, but I would say, like, she's managed to keep doing this for this long, she's probably okay. I think the more important conversation is about how this might affect her reputation and if she can ever get back to like what she once was, which was, I don't know, like definitely has always been problematic. I mean, I've been calling out her problematic language, behavior, etc. for a while now on YouTube. Even when she was doing those things, there were plenty of people who supported her and liked watching her gross TMI like story times while she was like slurping down some gravy, you know, like for whatever reason, people enjoyed that. And I think that she did have a fan base of people who were willing to look past some of the problematic things she did to do this. At this point, though, like, what trust does she have with any of these people? Like, she used to do cycles. We talked a lot about her cycling in the past, but these cycles with Nader happen quickly, like so much more quickly than I think we ever saw with like some of the like dieting cycles and that kind of a thing. Like these happen usually within the span of like 48 hours. Usually it happens so quickly and there's always so much going on. It's why a lot of people in the Chantal like reaction community can't even keep up with her, which is maybe its own whole separate problem when it comes to like staying engaged with Chantal, right? When you're constantly doing 2 to 3 live streams a day and you're streaming for like 6 hours at a time, like how does one person keep up with all of that? It's hard. So between her behavior and people just like being burnt out on like the constant live streams, how do you come back from that? Like, how do you re-engage people's interest, trust, etc. to get them to engage with you? I'm not sure it's possible. If anything, I think the number of people who just like genuinely enjoy her content and watching her and enjoy her as a person has significantly dwindled. And I would say the majority of the people that keep clicking into these live streams are probably not people who are genuine supporters, but are truly there for the train wreck. Like almost the opposite problem of what Amberlynn is having right now, to be honest with you. Like she I think at some point did have people who genuinely enjoyed her. I think they both did, honestly. And I think Amberlynn still does have people who genuinely enjoy her content or her as a person. But Chantal is doing everything in her power to like really make her fan base, her audience, an audience of people that are hate watching. So all of this to say, as a reminder again, like your time is valuable. And we keep getting messages from both Amberlynn and Chantal that if you don't like it, don't watch it. And I think that that's like a fair question to start asking yourself. For me personally, I think there are still plenty of things about Amberlynn that I enjoy watching. Is it the most riveting content? No. Am I having fun doing reactions and watching it all with you? Yes. I do still find that enjoyable. I don't find the live streams enjoyable, which is why you might have seen that I have not been covering those here on my channel, right? Like we all have choices we can make. And I think for me, the choice with Chantal is like, I don't know that I do enjoy this, and I don't know that I'm gonna keep like constantly engaging with your content. So that's for you to decide, because I think even a lot of the people who hate to watch her like can't stand to watch some of this like more triggering content. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people can't sit here and watch this happen to a person. No matter if you like Chantal or not, like nobody likes to see a person being treated that way, period. And a lot of us have experience with people in our lives who have experienced things like that, and it can bring up a lot of uncomfy feelings, not great memories, and we don't want to engage with content like that. So I think truly like the choice is yours. I'm curious to hear what your thoughts are about all of this down below. Would love to hear what's going on, where you all stand with both Amberlynn and Chantal. That's all I have for today. I hope you all enjoyed this video, and if it's your first video here on my channel, make sure to subscribe down below and hit the bell button so you get notifications. Also, if it's not your first video, maybe just check and make sure you're subscribed, because sometimes YouTube likes to unsubscribe people from their favorite creators. Also, leave me a comment, hit like, click share, and follow me on all of this social media, including my second channel where I just uploaded an Animal Crossing video. I had so much fun today. I hope you did too, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!